First of all, good afternoon, parents, faculty, board members, students, staff. My name is Catalina Guerrero. I graduated from the Competition and Markets Regulation program 6 years ago. When I graduated, actually, the name of the university was Barcelona Graduate School of Economics, so that changed. Also, I think the name of the program changed as well. Now it's Competition, Regulation and Markets program, so quite a things have changed. Currently, I work at Frontier Economics as an economic consultant. I do a lot of regulation actually there, so you're going to apply a lot of your technical skills that you learned here. I am so honored to have been selected to be the alumni speaker for this graduation ceremony. I don't think I'm the smartest person in the room, and my career is still in progress. So initially, thinking about what I would talk about became a big challenge. I don't want to be here reminding you how great your time at the BSc was. You already know this, and probably the first drops of nostalgia are invading your emotions as you realize this fantastic year is over. But where I think I can add value is by sharing my insights about what I would have liked to know before entering the thrilling world of professional life. I'm going to say 6 things, 6 key points, and please feel free to use them as you are advancing your career. First, there is a very popular 80s song called What a Feeling. It's from a movie called Flashdance. Actually, I have never watched the movie, but I have heard the song several times. And the main chorus reflects the first thing I want to say to you. It goes like this. I'm not going to sing it. I promised I was going to sing it, but now I'm more nervous than before, so I'm just going to repeat the word. Take your passion and make it happen. And why I'm saying this is because transitioning from being a student to becoming a professional is easier when you work on what you love. And I want to emphasize the word easier, because still it will have its highs and lows. But if you're passionate about it, it will become easy. Anecdotally, when I graduated from college in December 2013, like every other graduate student, I applied to any open job position I found. I was in a job interview process to work at an international company. 2 weeks after graduation, I was hospitalized for a week. And while in the hospital, I got a call and I got this job offer at this very big company. I got so stressed thinking that during my time at the hospital, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to be in another job interview processes, that I actually accepted this job opportunity. I stayed in that job for almost 4 years. I constantly questioned if I was passionate about my work, if that was a right decision. Most of the days, the answer is that I was not fulfilling my purpose. You might ask, why did you stay that long? First, I really had a very good boss. The work environment was great. But to be honest, I was quite scared of quitting because that was what I knew. It was easier for me to stay where I knew. But the thrill to pursue my master's degrees and the GSC gave me the courage actually to quit and move to Spain. Right now, I work in a company that I love. I work with people that are amazing, that I constantly learn from. And I feel that what I do actually matters and has an impact in the world. And that was the first reason I studied economics. Second, having said this about finding your passion, it is very important. And working in something that you love is a privilege. Don't forget that you should always be compensated accordingly. What you have learned and all the skill set that you have gained has a value, and you should get paid for it. There might be occasions where you might choose to have a lower salary but for a better work-life balance because you want to move to another country because of any other personal reasons. But don't work for free. Fortunately, the world has challenges that require your skill set. Companies and governments need individuals who use quantitative analysis to get answers and to make important decisions. So I suppose you shouldn't have a problem getting rewarded as you deserved. But as I said, what you know has a value. Third, the people you work with are as important as the type of job you do. For most of us, the typical working hours are from 9 to 6. Being with people who bring out the best in you and enjoy the job will be proportional to how much you enjoy what you do. I have to say the phrase, people do not quit companies, but their boss is true. In my case, I had the opportunity to meet amazing people from whom I constantly learn. 4, you might think that this is contradictory, but no, bear with me. It's part of the same storyline. Your priorities can change, and it is okay. I believe that as individuals, we're in constant evolution. What was important in the past might not be in the present. So if at any particular moment you feel you don't belong in that place, it is okay to look for something else that fulfills you. This is not necessarily only in the professional field, but in all aspects of your life. As for me, now that I have a daughter, my priorities in life have changed. While my professional development and ambitions are an essential part of me, the time and dedication cannot be at the expense of having a family and to be the mother that I always wanted to be. If at any moment in your life you feel you need a break to explore the world, learn a new language, run a marathon, do it. It is okay to change your priorities and your passion. 5, don't miss the opportunity to help others and give back. When I was younger, I always thought that what I earned was because of my hard work. But as I grow older, I realized that luck, as it was mentioned before, has always been there. I am an immigrant, like many other people in Europe. I left Mexico 7 years ago to pursue my master's degree. Back then, I did not consider the possibility of staying and living in Spain after graduation. However, I was fortunate enough to have been offered a job I love, and now I call this country my home. But not everyone's story is the same, so don't take anything for granted, and be grateful. There are millions of young, hardworking individuals who did not have the same opportunities that right now you're having, and it's our turn to give back and make this a fairer world. And I just want to add that sometimes the face of luck is our parents' and families' faces. They are behind our backs no matter what. They believe in us, and they encourage us to go higher every time. So sometimes luck actually is our parents and family. Finally, this new chapter that you'll navigate is wonderful. You'll meet interesting new people from all around the world, travel places, solve very challenging economic problems. So don't think that because now you're in the work life and that you're going to start your new professional life, you'll miss those opportunities. You'll still have all these chances to travel, to meet, but most importantly, to change the world. Cherish your time at the BSc, as studying here will be one of the most pivotal moments of your life. But I promise the next chapter awaiting you will also be great. I wish all of you the best of luck in the future. I think I can speak on behalf of everyone here that you are going to do it amazingly. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Samantha Catalina, for sharing your experience with us today. This is a very encouraging speech. So we now have 2 student representatives, Kila Jo Endenberg from CRM program also, and David Hilton from the ITFD program.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we know, the BSc really prides itself on its international student base. So we display this diversity tonight with David and I, the only 2 South Africans. The BSc suggested one thing we could talk about tonight were our futures and some advice for those futures. But I thought that when I look to my cohort and I know how incredibly impressive they all are, and everything that I've learned from them, and inevitably everything I am still going to learn from them, I thought that perhaps we could maybe take a more holistic approach this evening and discuss something I've learned from my year living in Spain. Separate from an unbelievable love of patatas bravas, I have one of the most striking things I've realized living here is that when you speak to someone from Spain and you introduce yourself and you ask them about themselves, one of the last things they will tell you about is their job. And so I hope that for all of us, well, at least for myself, and maybe you want to take it as well, is that one of the last things we say is that we're an economist, a policymaker, a treasurer, and a data scientist. So I thought that I could take this opportunity to offer some suggestions to my classmates on things that immediately came to mind when I would describe them. Satvik, I hope that you say that on the same day you learned how to put skis on, you unintentionally skied down the entire Indora Valley in the dark. Johanna, that somehow, no matter what sport, she has just watched the latest match and can discuss it at length with anyone. That Arhan is unambiguously a Scotch guy. That Deanna ran the Barcelona Marathon the week before our toughest exams. ITFD, of course, that you hold the championship futsal title. I don't think Amaya will be short a story or two after subletting from an eccentric elderly woman this year. Nani and the hippies, as they affectionately refer to themselves, that apparently you studied for every exam together with someone role-playing each prof, apparently. Raul, who managed to impress every single bachelorette in Barcelona on the CRM nights out and very graciously offered to teach us less talented dancers, although it turns out that Dylan and I are unfortunately unteachable. To Oscar and Ming, who are two of the best companions to sit in the sun with, indulge in kava, and play cards with, although we'll call it an econometrics problem set meeting. Sorry. Jordan now has not one, but 2 master's degrees from the BSc. James, I think you can say you're a hobbyist economist that practices dentistry. Tevel, that you may be the biggest Swiftie in our year with, I think, 3 scheduled concerts at the moment. Catherine and Marcus, that you are the most launchable duo at the BSc and are truly up for anything. But maybe we'll all agree to give Matt a pass and let you one day introduce yourself as the chief economist of the DOJ. I know we were told we would only ever see Barcelona from within the walls of the BSc, but I hope that sitting here tonight, we're all really proud of what we've managed to squeeze out of this year. Now, dutifully following ChatGPT's advice, I owe you some thank yous. Firstly, I will briefly abuse my position and thank Rosa, Massimo, Adela, and Rathio, who have been extraordinarily generous with their time and guidance for us competition folk, but I know that that extends beyond us. Thank you to Alba and Career Services, who offered us endless support while we agonized after cover letter wording and offer letters. To our profs and TAs who helped us get to this day after a very reasonable, what feels like 7,000 problem sets each. And then to the wonderful admin staff who have helped us with every worry, minor panic, scheduling conflict, helping us move into and out of Barcelona. And then lastly, I can see that tonight many of us are lucky enough to have our villagers with us. And I am so immensely thankful to my village, my dad and Ellie, that have supported me through this year. And this is not abnormal, I cry all the time. and then after speaking with all of you, I know that the sentiment is so widely shared, and there was so much anticipation for all of us to have our families here tonight and to meet everyone. And I know that some of us part of our BSc community couldn't be with us tonight to celebrate their graduates. I know we have families in Mexico, New Zealand, Virginia, that are so, so proud of their graduates too. And lastly, I hope that we're very proud of ourselves because this has been a kind of tough year. Thank you.
Okay, before beginning, I'd just like to thank Kayla for that wonderful speech again. Let's give her a round of applause. So, greetings again to everyone here today for the 2024 BSc graduation. My fellow students, family and friends, professors, and BSc support staff. I would like to start by again congratulating you, my fellow graduates. Well done for all your dedication, perseverance, hard work these past 10 months. We've done it, guys. We've graduated. Continuing from this, in acknowledging what we have achieved, I think it is important to thank all those that made it possible. Firstly, to all our family and friends, those who are here with us today, and those who couldn't be here in person but are here in spirit, thank you all so much for your support these last 10 months. I know it means the world to every student here. I would also like to thank, on behalf of the class of 2024, the professors for all their hard work, guidance, and knowledge they've imparted to us. I particularly would like to thank Professor George for his unflinching support throughout this Masters and guidance, and always the first place for advice and shoulder to cry on in tough times. Furthermore, I would like to thank all the BSc support staff for the amazing job they did this year, especially the Administration and Career Services Department. You guys were excellent, and thank you for all that you did for us. Woo! Now that we've said those key thank yous, what else or who else is there to be grateful for from this Masters? Well, we leave here the BSc expertly trained in economics, econometrics, data science, equipped to go out into the world and pursue our career ambitions and make a difference, which is an extreme privilege and a blessing. We have also been taught to handle pressure, as well as to use teamwork, collaboration, and ingenuity to overcome obstacles. Wonderful skills to have going forward and very much to be grateful for. There have also been many other happenings these past 10 months to be thankful for. There was much investment of time and resources, cross-border trade, migration, development, as well as the strengthening of international relations. In particular, Catalonia and the Netherlands, as well as Italy and France, became especially close. Woo! Additionally, there have been some noteworthy cultural events. The Winter Olympics in Andorra, as well as the Euros in Barcelona, with the ITFD prevailing victoriously in the final to lift the cup. Furthermore, there have been many other social events this past year, which, encouraged by liquid refreshments, working relationships have turned to friendships. On this note, I'd like to focus for a moment. I think the greatest gift this Masters has given us has been these friendships. The opportunity to meet so many interesting and talented people from all around the world and to develop together through this joint experience has been truly amazing. I'm so proud of you, my fellow graduates, for the way you have come together this year to help each other and achieve what we have. Thank you all for the laughs, support, and camaraderie, as well as the life lessons we've learned together along the way. I know we are all excited for what the future holds, and I hope these friendships continue to grow for the years to come. Lastly, a final thing we can be grateful for is this moment here, right now. I was sitting in a bar a few weeks ago with Vincenzo and Mace, and Vincenzo was talking to us about how disappointed he'd be to miss today's graduation. And he said something that really stuck in my mind. He said, you know, I'm disappointed because I'm missing a moment of such pure emotion, a moment filled with memories of multitude of experiences that all culminate in this joy to celebrate our graduation together. So, in the words of Vincenzo, let us enjoy this moment of pure emotion. Please join me now in celebrating the class of 2024. Woo! Boca!
Good evening, everyone. So, as said, I'm Dean Curry, and I graduated from the economics class here back in 2015. I think ever since then, I've been working at RBB Economics, which is one of the leading economic consultancies in competition law, where I'm now a principal at the firm. So I think, offering my assistance, if anyone is interested in working in this field, please do feel free to reach out to me, for any questions or any advice on it. I'd be happy to help you. So I think before kicking off, I just wanted to say, a huge thank you to the BSE staff for inviting me to speak to you and congratulate you on this huge achievement and welcome you to the BSE alumni community. I think it's always an honour for me to come back to this school, and I think, it's particularly humbling to come and speak to you today on a day as important as it is today. I think I remember my own graduation back in 2015 like it was yesterday, but it's now almost 10 years ago, which makes me feel very old even saying. So I think I will keep this very short. I think there's just 2 points that I wanted to make, which is echoing what's already been said. But I think these just, for me personally, and I think for you as well, kind of the 2 key takeaways that you'll take away from your experience here at Barcelona. So I think first, and maybe obviously, is that you've obtained a master's from one of the leading academic institutions here at BSE. It's got a huge global reputation, and I think although I knew this beforehand, I think now that I kind of see the world a bit more through the employer's point of view when we're looking at applications, I think it's something I've come to appreciate much, much more. So I think, at RBB in particular, we've got a huge kind of alumni network even within our firm, and we're always hiring people from this school. So I think, equally, when I look back at my own kind of colleagues at this, at this university, they've all as well gone on to achieve amazing things, working at other leading rival consultancies, which we won't mention names, but also kind of the World Bank, the IMF. So I think, the future is really bright for you all. So I think, on that note, I think, why this has been a very difficult year for you. I know there's been many late nights in the library revising for difficult exams, working on impossible problem sets, maybe some late nights in razzmatazz as well. I think you should all now kind of, take a step back and, really look at what you've achieved, because I think it is something special to graduate from this school. And I can't promise you that you're not going to face problems going forward that are as scary as the econometrics problem set, but what I can promise you is that the skills you've learned over the last year here are going to prepare you to deal with any of them that come your way. So I think, the BSE has given you, invaluable technical, economic and econometric skills. It's taught you to deal with, new complex economic issues, firsthand. And it's kind of taught you to work in a team from people from such a diverse background, which are all going to be invaluable skills for your career going forward. So I think the second key takeaway, which is very apparent that it's the same again here this year, is that it's given you the opportunity to be in such an amazing international community from people all over the world. I think now, knowing many people that did other master's courses, I think BSE is very unique in the way in which it brings together people from all over the world, but also keeps them in touch with one another for many years after. So say I graduated 10 years ago almost now, and I've still got kind of a close group of friends from all over Europe, South America and Africa, which just would never have happened had I not studied here. So I think the same is going to apply to you all here today. I'm sure you've made friends from all over the world that you'll continue to hold dear for many years to come. And it may be ironic coming from a British man after Brexit, but I think this global integration and spending time with other cultures and nationalities is kind of invaluable for everyone to develop personally going forward. So I think while today for some of you marks the end of your time in Barcelona, it's certainly not the end of your participation in this international community. So I think, first of all, it's very unlikely for many of you that this will be your last interaction with the university itself. Some of you are staying on to do a PhD already, but others will be coming back, with their future employers representing in recruitment events, or some of you will be standing where I am now giving a terrifying speech to future graduates. So, and then, as I say, I graduated 10 years ago, and I think in one form or another, I've been back to the university, I think every year, possibly more than once. So I think, this certainly isn't your last interaction with the university. Second, I'm sure this is not the end of the friendships and, connections that you've formed over the last year. Although after today, you might go back to your various different countries and even in different continents, you'll find that you just use this as an excuse to visit new parts of the world and have a local tour guide. And I think if any of you made Brazilian friends, just make sure you visit them for Carnival. I promise you it's worthwhile. So wanted to keep this short, and just to wrap up, I think a huge congratulations on your amazing achievements to date, and I wish you the best of luck in all your career, but this is just the beginning. That said, your time here at BSE has prepared you to go on and reach for the stars, and I don't just mean your regression coefficients. So, I like that one. So, so welcome to the GSE alumni community, and I hope to see some of you soon in Madrid and even at RBB. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean, for accepting to give this very special speech. So now I would like to call Luca Orsini and Jacob Pereira, who are representing the Econ.
So many people. Good evening, esteemed faculty, distinguished guests, beloved family and friends, and my fellow graduates. My name is Luca Orsini, and I'm deeply honored to stand before you today as we celebrate this significant milestone in our lives. A challenging year is coming to an end, and as it does, we can all agree on something. We all learned a lot. Some of us learned how challenging it is to cope with stress, anxiety, and problems at deadlines. Some others also figured out how to find a way home from Oveja Negra at 2 a.m. in the morning. A quick shout out also to our friends at the PhD track. Many congratulations in the extremely challenging year you managed to go through. We are quite envious, I have to say, of the fact that you will stay in Barcelona doing what you love the most, even getting paid. Not so much, but I mean. As for our finance fellows, we all know that regardless of where you're going to end up working, whether it's in Goldman Sachs in London or in a random company in Kyrgyzstan, that they're all going to earn as much more as we could hope for. A special thank you also to our coordinator for answering our 10,000 doubts per day and for putting the core exams in the second term so close that we couldn't even realize how screwed we were. We would also like to thank our Deputy Director, Prof. Nualar, for being our mentor in all things academic, and especially our therapist in the moments of greatest discomfort. Another heartfelt thank you goes to our Director, Prof. Reynal, for his precious advice. We still remember in our first meeting, her opening. It's going to be challenging. Work hard, put your head down, and work every day. I assure you that we all worked so hard that between our first and second meeting, it almost felt like a year had flown by. One of the advantages of being part of such a diverse program is that we share our journey with many international students. What best way to celebrate it than to make a bit fun of it? Let's start with the Germans. We all learned two things from them. First, that the stereotype that they don't have any sense of humor is not true. But just in case, if you hear laughing, please laugh as well. The second is that the stereotype about their punctuality is as true as the fact that the coffee of the cafeteria is the best in Barcelona. As for our Indian friends, it was very difficult to find anything to joke about you guys, because you're so nice, polite, and the best thing I could come out with is that you're the Canadians of Asia with much tastier and spicy food. This year we also had the pleasure of having colleagues from Japan and China. Unfortunately, once they found out what we do with their culture, in particular their food in Europe, they decided to seek jobs in their own countries. Also, honorable mention to the British guys. First of all, we should all thank them for increasing the credibility of our presentations, even though we were not really understanding what they were saying. But the most important thing that we learned from them is that sometimes we just seek what we want the most, but not necessarily with good outcomes, just like they did with any major football competition in the past 58 years and with bars. Now, for our amazing group of Americans. They came here to bring their can-do spirit, enthusiasm, and ready to experience the sights of Barcelona. Instead, they discovered that the true cultural icons of the city are Casa de Lina, Oveja Negra, and El Rincón. We then proceed to the Latinos. In our huge cohort, we had the pleasure of having, just to name some, Argentinians, Colombians, Dominicans. I would really like to make fun of them, but I've received a letter just before the speech saying, "We know too much. If you want to keep your good reputation, say the following." Say the following. Arepas are better than pizza, Mate is better than Italian coffee, and Latin America is the true America. Signed, your flatmates. Finally, to the Italians. Probably not the biggest group at BSc this year, but definitely the loudest and most caffeine addicted. If while working around BSc you heard someone talking about buds in economics or the firm, without any specific economic context, with a very high probability he was an Italian student. Now, jokes apart, it's been a pleasure to share this journey with you all, and I hope that we'll get to share many more memories in the future. Of one thing I'm sure is that we will have each other backs wherever we will be in the world. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
I was nervous about writing the speech, and then I remembered my American can-do spirit and just naturally started flowing, so works out. No, but when ChatGPT first wrote this speech, I realized it was just a bit too comprehensive. I was looking for a more nuanced approach. Moreover, I realized that the speech did indeed have to come from the heart, so here it goes. After COVID, I felt like my youth was going to waste, and I didn't have any control over it. I have to be grateful for this time, though, because it encouraged me to step outside my comfort zone and apply to BSc, where I got the honor to meet all of you this year, and that was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I felt like I got to travel around the world and hearing everybody's stories. To see that we were born in such different places, yet shared a similar hatred to problem sets was something beautiful. I love getting to know how you all saw the world, what your unsolicited thoughts on America was. Thank you for the feedback, Germany. And how we all enrich our lives for the better. Whether it was beach volleyball, Oveja Negra, or fighting for a study space in Building 24, I felt connected to all of you in a way that transcended anything we learned in the classroom. I don't know about you guys, but I heard that this master's program was a bit intense from the start of the program. While this was absolutely true, it really was, there's just not enough talk about the friendships and extraordinary people you get to meet while you're here. The difficulty of both the masters and being away from home really helped us grow close. And for what you all meant to me, I just truly want to thank you for giving me the best year I could ever ask for. Now I'd love to thank the most important people in attendance here today, the friends and the families. I know it's not the easiest to see us move away and go undergo a very difficult master's. So thank you for answering our late night calls, listening to all of our complaining, and supporting us when we need it the most. Throughout this year, we found out a lot about ourselves, and you guys gave us the love and support to do so. You allowed us to become the people that could take on such a taxing year with all the challenges of being away. We really could not be here on this stage and at this point without you guys standing right behind us. Everyone, please give a round of applause to all the loved ones that support you today. Now, I would like to finally thank BSc. They gave us a renowned international platform for us to excel in. It was wonderful to be a part of a university that's improving exponentially. It was amazing to be a part of all the improvements, the feedback, and the many voluntary surveys that we could take. Knowing that you leave behind a better cohort for the future is truly something special. I would also like to thank the professors. They were always very responsive and attentive throughout the terms, which was definitely a lifesaver for the workload of the classes. The lectures and problem sets prepared us so well. By the time final exams came around, there were no surprises. I don't know why you guys are laughing. All in all, I would like to sincerely express my gratitude for BSC for giving me the most challenging yet best experience. Now we have a lot to look forward to. I personally cannot wait to see what this class will go on to do. Being around all your minds this year has genuinely made me excited for the potential of this class. It's crazy that I get to visit places like Frankfurt and visit so many of you that are working at the ECB. I love that I get to check on my PhD students at Toulouse and Warwick next year. I truly cannot say that I'm so proud in each and every one of you for this year, because it was hard and we did do it, and that's definitely something to be proud about. All in all, I would like to know that the bond that we made this year will set us up for the rest of our lives. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all of you and congratulate you for graduating in this master's. Cheers, guys. Now we get ready for the cocktail hour, okay? Let's do it.